That question now, why did God decide to create? To manifest his attributes in this particular way. This is the decision of God. Next question, life after death. The angels is just a fairy tale. Again, this is not a question, this is what some atheists and others may say. Life after death, this is the hidden world, the unseen world. This is just a fairy tale. There's no life after death. There are no angels, etc. And of course, God addresses this in the Quran, many places. Allah speaks about those who say, after we die and we become dust, will we be returned again? The pagans, when the Prophet was telling them about it, used to say the same thing. But Allah has given many, many examples in the Quran for human beings to reflect. Have you not seen, the land that was green, and then it becomes brown, the plants die, and it seems to be barren. Rain comes, and it comes back again, green. Don't we see this? Don't we observe this in our lives? Of course we do. So, why should we think then that this is not possible? Of course it's easy for God. There's nothing. Also, life after death is the fulfillment. Because if we look at this life as being all that there is, then there is no fulfillment in this life. No fulfillment, no justice in the full sense. When you think of the major criminals who, people like Hitler who killed millions and then just put a gun to his head when he was about to be captured and killed himself, that's it. He ends that way. And a person who lives his life as a good person all throughout his life, and he dies, their death is the same. They both are no longer living. Now, that life that this one lived is the same as this life. There is no accountability in the end for this. Then, if we are to believe that, then there's no point in doing good. There's no point in doing good. We should do whatever we can to benefit ourselves at any cost. And that kind of way of thinking breeds what we call the law of the jungle, survival of the fittest. Humanity's compassion, mercy, all of this is gone, finished. Life is finished as we know it. It's just, it would be chaos, animalistic, etc., etc. And of course, those who want to live that type of life, well then, they will espouse this kind of philosophy. But anybody who reflects on society and the need for order and justice and mercy and compassion and these kind of things, has to see beyond this life recompense, judgment, responsibility. This is what keeps a person on the straight and narrow in this life, ultimately. Why? If I find myself in a situation where I can do something evil and get away with it and it's going to benefit me, why should I not do that evil? Why not? Because God knows it, it is recorded, and I will have to answer for it. Otherwise, without that belief, nothing is going to stop me. Some people say, well, no, it's our altruistic belief that good is good, and we should do the good for the sake of good. Well, that's nice to say when doing good benefits you. But what about when doing good doesn't benefit you? When everybody else is doing bad, evil, and they're all getting away with it, they're all benefiting from it, you're not going to be doing good too much longer. Or what about when what you believe to be good now, the whole society considers to be evil? You'll give up what you think to be good. This is what happens. That's what has happened to society. So, belief in the life to come is not a fairy tale. It is a necessary reality for this life to make any sense. Those who don't believe in it, of course, what happens to them? If there's no life to come, when some evil happens to them, they cannot deal with it. They just go haywire. A man loses his job. He's fired. What does he do in America, other countries? First thing he does, he goes to the gun shop, he buys himself a Kalashnikov, loads it up, comes back into his office, and then starts mowing down, all his co-workers, his boss, the manager, the president. Why? Because his life is all there is. This man has done the evil, I'm going to do the most evil I can back to get back at this person. Because his life is all there is. Somebody commits massive crimes. Like this guy they caught in Ukraine, short time back. He had raped and beaten to death some 59 or 60 women. Now the Ukraine had agreed that they were going to abolish the death penalty. What happened? What now? You reach a stage where you have an animal like this. You just put him away. You give him a chance, he's going to come back out in society. Sometime he might escape and get out or whatever. No. The Ukrainians were forced to execute this guy. He had to be executed. Because his life, though it is not all that there is, there has to be also punishment, reward and punishment in this life, where it is applicable, where it can be applied. But when a person thinks this life is all there is, then they're saying this life is life. Don't take this man's life. If you take this man's life, it's not going to bring back the 59 or 60 women who he beat to death. It's not going to bring back their lives. So don't take his life. Why? Because you have put so much value on his life. Why did you put so much value? Because you believe that this life is all there is. We don't believe that. So he has killed. He should be killed. Because this life is not all there is. To take his life is to protect the lives of others. We can also look at this question from the point of view of the system of Islam. When we look at the whole system of Islam, which addresses all aspects of human life, provides a system to guide the individual, the family, the community, the nation, economically, socially, in all of the various aspects, we have a complete system like this, which any thinking person would have to respect as being obviously from God. Then the message that the individual who brought this system said about the hereafter, we have to believe it. He's not the only one saying it. All of the prophets, you have people historically, all through history, who claim to be prophets of God, saying the same thing. Why shouldn't we believe it? To deny it, to reject it, is foolish. Another question. Religion only gives man hope and nothing else. Actually, question after that is related to it. Religion is the opium of nations. This is a famous statement communists used to quote all the time. It's, I think, attributed back to Marx or Lenin, I don't remember which one. The religion is the opium of the people. Well, in some cases, it is used to dullen the senses of the nation, of the people who are being oppressed, where it teaches that you are being oppressed because God wants you to be oppressed, and the rulers who are oppressing you, they are rulers because God wanted them to be rulers, and you should accept that status quo. However, Islam invites people to remove oppression. It seeks justice. It doesn't encourage people to submit to evil. That's why there is the principle of jihad, where people will struggle against evil in society, and evil in other societies, to establish the rule of God in human society. So, yes, religion does give human beings hope. It gives them hope where there are struggles and trials in this life. It person reflects that religion, that as religion teaches, that this life is a test, then it gives one a sense of awareness or a sense of confidence in order to deal with the trials of this life. One who doesn't have religion, will not be able to deal with the trials. I mean, it has been shown, for example, people want to quit alcohol, quit smoking, these type of things. Where religion comes in, this helps them to do it. When America tried to ban alcohol, not on a religious basis, but legally instituted by the state, it failed. It recognized alcohol as harmful, but it couldn't ban it because religion was not behind it. Where in Muslim countries, for the most part, until recent times, etc., alcohol was banned. The vast majority of people did not take alcohol. Why? Because they believed that it was forbidden by God, it was harmful, and they gave it up. So, religion helps individuals, not only in the sense of having hope, in the sense of a future where one is patient with the trials of this life for good in the future, but it also gives one a willingness, a strength, inner strength to be able to give up evil things because it has been defined as evil by God, and those things defined as evil by God are truly evil. So the hope which it gives the individual is essential for stability, mental stability in this world. That's what people who don't have religion, you see what happens to them. They could be the top rock star, making his millions, but he has some mental crisis. Next thing you know, he's committed suicide. How many cases of leading rock musicians, etc., commit suicide? Members in rich families, also having all the wealth, the things that we think of this life as, being the things which we all want. They have all of this and they kill themselves. Why? Because they don't have a sense of purpose in life. They don't see beyond this life. So, religion, yes, it gives man hope. It gives him also a mental stability, an ability to deal with the trials of life, and it gives him a foundation for righteousness. Righteousness which is not going to change from time to time, from circumstance to circumstance, from opinion of the people to one another opinion of the people. It gives human beings, society, a sense of stability and guidance and clarity. With that, dear viewers, I'd like to thank you for being with us in this segment of our program, In the Light of Islam, where we have addressed questions which came to me over the internet. You may write to me at fld3@hotmail.com or at Sharjah Television, PO Box 111, Sharjah, UAE. And with that, I bid you all farewell. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.